Alright guys, so this is the Teclast Master T8, the smaller brother of the Teclast Master T10, and another try of Teclast to take on the Xiaomi Mi Pad 3 by similar specs and a very attractive price tag. So this tablet currently is sold at around 178 euros, but I have already seen it with coupon codes at only around 140 euros, which is quite an insane offering considering the specs this tablet boasts. So let's have a quick look around the tablet and my first impressions about it. So the Teclast Master T10 is again entirely made from aluminum. It looks like a really high quality device and feels very sturdy. The metal body is slightly curved, which makes the tablet appear very slim. And let me tell you that build quality of this thing is top notch and pretty much on par with the Xiaomi Mi Pad 3 this thing tries to take on. So on the rear we have a Teclast logo and the Teclast T8 imprint, and also a camera module. This one operates at a resolution of 8 megapixels, and on the front we have a 13 megapixel sensor. Having a look at the right side, we find the buttons of the tablet, which is a volume rocker as well as a power button, but those I think are not made from metal but polycarbonate instead. Then the lower frame houses stereo speakers as well as the micro SD card tray. This one isn't quite even with the frame of the tablet, so build quality here isn't the best, but just on this single piece, so it doesn't really matter that much. The upper frame houses the 3.5mm headphone jack as well as a USB Type-C port, which unfortunately isn't a 3.1 spec port, so you can't do HDMI out on this one, and also can't use USB 3.0 accessories or fully featured USB Type-C hubs on this one, which is a little sad since they also didn't put a micro HDMI port or anything on here, which would have been quite a benefit over the Xiaomi Mi Pad 3 in comparison, because the Mi Pad 3 also doesn't have an HDMI port, which is something a lot of people dislike. And the front looks fairly clean. We only have a home button with an integrated fingerprint scanner on here, a little sensor for the light to get automatic brightness control of the screen, as well as the aforementioned 13 megapixel front camera. And as you can see, the bezels of this tablet are very slim. So for the screen they went with an 8.4 inch LCD panel, which is a little bit larger than on the Xiaomi Mi Pad 3, but that's not a bad thing in my opinion. And the screen operates at a resolution of 2560 by 1600 pixels, so it has a high pixel density and you can't spot single pixels at all, even when coming very close to the screen. And what's very nice about this panel is that it does not only have a very good picture quality, but it is also fully laminated. That means that you don't have this gap in between the panel and the front glass, and just like the Mi Pad 3, the picture looks very crisp and almost like it would be printed directly onto the glass, which just looks really good and makes it nice to use. The touch screen of this tablet is pretty good. It's a 10-point digitizer. It has some issues when doing multi-touch gestures and coming too close with your fingers. So for example, when you do like this, starting from this distance, it will recognize a single touch only, but in real life use this has never become a problem so far, so not issues at all. The reaction time of the touchscreen is fairly okay. We have a tiny bit of an input lag, but that's just when scrolling. When you type on the screen, you don't notice the input lag at all. And the touch resolution of the screen is fairly good, as you can see, so you get very smooth scrolling. Accuracy is pretty good too, and sensitivity is as well, so really no issues there at all. The screen glass features an oleophobic coating, which means that fingerprints aren't attracted too much, and it's very easy to get rid of them. It's very easy to clean, and it also feels very smooth, good gliding properties, just fun using this thing. Like the Teclast Master T10, the T8 also features a MT8176 hexa-core processor with 4 Cortex-A53 cores and 2 Cortex-A72 cores, so it's a pretty powerful SoC reaching around 80,000 points in Antutu, just like the Mi Pad 3. It's the very same SoC. We have 4 GB of RAM inside of there, which isn't the largest RAM available right now across tablets, but it still is enough for proper multitasking, and the performance of this thing is just good. I mean, look at Google Maps. This is quite a demanding app actually. A lot of weaker tablets have issues rendering maps scrolling smoothly, but this tablet really hasn't any issues at all there. Also, when we open up Google Chrome, we can scroll across web pages in a very smooth way. Works just fine. Switching between tabs works great as well. Let's open up split screen and see how this works. So there you go. And again, Google Maps remains very smooth and Google Chrome remains smooth as well. So performance-wise, this tablet is pretty good, and you also can play games on it. I mean, it won't have any issues even with demanding titles like Unkilled, Forspoken Kingdom, or even Dead Effect 2 on highest graphic settings. Those all will run smooth, which is nice to see. The RAM inside this tablet, considering that this is LPDDR3 RAM, reaches quite good data rates. As you can see, 6.15 GB per second is a very decent result, so the RAM is quite fast. And also the 64 GB internal memory are decently fast, 172 megabit per second of reading speed and 86 megabyte per second of writing speed. Of course, aren't high-end values, but they are totally fine considering the price range and what this tablet packs. What's kind of disappointing is the internal fingerprint scanner on the home button. It doesn't always work. So as you can see, I need to do multiple tries until it recognizes my fingerprint, and also if you have wet fingers or something like that, it won't work at all. So it's not really the best scanner, and I feel like it's better to disable it. By the way, this is not a physical home button, it's just a touch sensitive area, so you can't press it, so you definitely need to use the on-screen buttons to navigate across the system. Software-wise, we are running on a stock Android here, which comes with a custom launcher, which I replaced with the Microsoft launcher because the stock launcher doesn't have an app drawer, which I prefer. But besides of that, it's just a normal stock Android with some adjustments to the quick settings. You have a shortcut to the mirror vision settings, you have a eye comfort mode, night mode, reading mode, and all that stuff like on the Teclast Master T10. And everything else looks just like normal stock Android. It also works this way. As you can see, we're running on Android 7.0 here, so that's nice to see for split screen reasons. Android security patch level is a little bit outdated, which is sad, but not a big deal in my opinion here. The latest update has been released just a couple of days ago, so they do use the OTA update system they have on here. You just need to hit online update, and if there is something available, it will show you and offer to install it. So that's nice to see. Reception quality of the Teclast Master T8 is quite good in Wi-Fi. Haven't had any issues so far there. I can move one floor below the router and don't have any significant speed drops or signal losses, which is decent to see. It supports AC Wi-Fi, so you can use your fast internet connection. What's a little bit disappointing compared to the Teclast Master T10 is that the GPS is weaker on here. You can use the Teclast Master T10 to navigate even inside a car, which isn't possible with this tablet. The signal is just too weak, so GPS is only good to check where you are outdoors, but not inside a car and not inside a room or something like that. I have been quite impressed by the audio quality on the Teclast Master T10, and I am again on the Teclast Master T8. They really put quite some decent speakers inside of there, which definitely are usable to listen to some music without headphones if you don't like to use them for some reason. And you can also watch Netflix movies or series or anything like that on it without feeling the need to connect an external speaker to it. What's just a little bit disappointing is that those stereo speakers are all placed on the same side of the tablet. So it would have been nice to see one speaker here and one speaker on this side to get a real stereo effect when using the tablet in landscape mode, which isn't possible with this design. So I don't get why they used the same speaker design as on the Xiaomi Mi Pad 3, which also has all of them on the very same side. So it doesn't make sense really, but still audio quality is good, and that's what counts the most to me. Headphone jack also sounds very decent, very loud output, very clear, no distortions or anything like that, just a really good audio quality and nothing to complain about there. So what about cameras? As I said, the Teclast Master T8 boasts the very same cameras as the Teclast Master T10, which impressed me with its camera quality, especially on the front camera, which uses a 30 megapixel Samsung sensor. And since the camera hardware is the very same as on the T10 on the T8, The quality is the same too. Just look at this. You get really high quality selfies with the front camera of this one. So if you like to do video chats and really need a proper webcam for this, the Teclast Master T8 is a great option as well. The 8 megapixel rear camera is a little bit better than on the Teclast Master T10 in my opinion, despite using the very same sensor. I don't really know why this is the case, but just look at this. Sharpness and detail and colors look quite good on the rear camera, at least for such close-up pictures. If we have a look at landscape pictures, you see that detail is a little bit worse than on close-ups, but still perfectly fine for a tablet. I mean, that's not a bad camera at all, so they really did a nice job here. So what about battery life? Let's just have a quick look at it. Here we go, Accu battery. So the average screen on time after a couple of days of use is 7 hours and 49 minutes. Not a bad result at all, considering that this packs a smaller battery than the T10. So this translates to about 1 to 2 days of use depending on what you're doing with your tablet. If you're just using it for random surfing, email checking and maybe playing some movies in the evening, you will easily get 2 or even 3 days out of it, depending on how long you do that stuff. Standby time could be a little better. It was more than 100 hours on the Teclast Master T10. Here it's only 67 hours, so something is using up some battery in the background here, which I don't really know what it is. We need to check on that. But anyway, battery life is pretty good. And the Teclast Master T8 also supports fast charging, by the way. So when you charge your tablet with a Pump Express Plus charger, which by the way is included on this one, contrary to the Teclast Master T10, you get around 2 hours and 49 minutes of charging time from 20 to 100%, which is quite decent for a tablet, in my opinion. So the verdict right now is that the Teclast Master T8 indeed can be an alternative to the Xiaomi Mi Pad 3. Unfortunately, it does include some of the downsides of the Mi Pad 3, which is that the stereo speakers are all placed on the same side and that we don't have a micro HDMI out port there. It would have also been nice to see them using a real USB Type-C port with 3.1 spec to get HDMI out through it, and also USB 3.0 speeds, which isn't the case. But besides of that, it is a pretty decent tablet in my opinion. I mean, we are running a very fast SoC on here with a great build quality, screen is great, audio is great, cameras are really capable, battery life is decent, and well, reception quality in terms of Wi-Fi is also pretty good. So what else do you want? This works just fine. So I really don't see any reason to rate this thing bad, and I think this will be a positive review again. Teclast seemed to really up their game recently. The Teclast Master T10 was great, this one is great. Let's see how this continues. So that's all for the first impressions on the Teclast Master T8. Thanks for watching and see you then with the full review. Bye bye.